It's that wonderful time of the year where we sit up late to watch a bunch of people announce games. That's right, lads, it's E3! Well, it was a few days ago. So, I'm here to bring you the big news that came out of the biggest gaming event that happens every year. I'm your host for this recap, Pat Carey, and without further ado, let's jump right into this video. EA started off the big event with their conference, and they started off with a game a lot of people are excited for, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We were given a lengthy gameplay session to see what this game is about. The gameplay we saw was alpha footage, and it is looking very solid at the moment, with a third-person view that takes influence from Software games, though with a healthy dose of force powers. The versatility of movement seems to be a big deal, from climbing structures to running along walls and hopping between them. The game is to be released on November 15th this year. We then had a look at the new season of Apex Legends, adding in loads of new skins, a new ranked mode, a new powerful gun, and a brand new character that is named Watson, bringing a total of 10 legends to the game. New maps are coming to Battlefield 5, FIFA 2020 is getting a new mode named Volta, which is basically FIFA Street. Madden was mentioned, so yeah? Sims 4 is getting new content that has you living up life on a beach. Microsoft kicked off the official start of E3 press conferences, and they revealed quite a lot, from large titles like From Software's new Elden Ring, which has George R.R. Martin on board to help create the lore of the world, to Keanu Reeves coming on stage to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 while also finding out he was in it. Indie games got time to shine, and other announcements of a smaller scale such as Phantasy Star Online 2 finally coming to the West, and Tales of Arise being the next entry into the Tales of series. We got to see some games coming exclusively to Xbox, from Ninja Theory's newest game, Bleeding Edge, which is a 4v4 online multiplayer game that seems to be following in the footsteps of games such as Overwatch. We then had Gears 5, which revealed a new survival-like mode called Escape. Microsoft are also adding to their list of first-party developers, as they have acquired Double Fine Productions, though they also pushed hard on their service Project xCloud, which is their answer to streaming games, though it is looking super appealing. We finally got to hear some info on their next-gen console, simply known as Project Scarlet as of now. The new device is said to be 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X, promising faster loading times and more intense visuals with 8K graphics, with support for 120 frames per second and an SSD when it's released in the fall of 2020. We also got to get a look at Project Scarlet's first big day one exclusive, which is going to be Halo Infinite. Bethesda were next up onto the stage and spent most of their time doing damage control and showing off new content coming to their games such as Fallout 76 and The Elder Scrolls Online. We got a good handful of games shown, such as Wolfenstein Youngblood, which showed off its co-op features and has you killing loads and loads of Nazis. Doom Eternal got its time to shine with its crazy action-packed gameplay for its single-player mode as well as its multiplayer mode, and it looks insanely delightful. We did get some new announcements from Bethesda in the form of the spooky Ghostwire Tokyo, which seems to be an intriguing horror game based off its CGI trailer, and we also got Deathloop, which seems to pit the two main protagonists against each other while incorporating some form of time loop or travel. Ubisoft started off with a super strong performance, starting with Watch Dogs Legion. The game is taking place over with our neighbours in the UK, London, a tiny bit into the future, with Brexit having screwed over the whole entire country. The scope of the game is the interesting part, as every character in the game is playable. It's simply up to you to recruit them, whether it's an old assassin or a young hacker. New content was covered for already existing games such as Rainbow Six Siege and Tom Clancy's The Division 2. We got a few new IPs being released by Ubisoft, from their stab at a Rocket League type game going by the name of Roller Champions, which looks to be a fun experience. And then we got Gods and Monsters, which looks to be a colourful world where you take on legends from Greek mythology. We then got new releases for pre-existing franchises, with Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is focusing on co-op play, and we saw more of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Just Dance 2020 was revealed and is still coming to the Wii, yet skipping the Wii U. Strange, isn't it? Square Enix had a phenomenal start, showcasing Final Fantasy VII Remake with a hefty amount of gameplay. It showed two forms of tackling the gameplay, from real-time battle and then the more strategic form that slows down time to practically a stop so you can think about your next move. This first episode is to take place just in Midgar, and there is no solid outline of how many episodes there will be. So prepare for this overall Final Fantasy VII Remake to not be fully finished in our lifetime. Also, if you're interested in selling your soul, you might be able to afford the collector's edition they announced. We got a trailer for Dying Light 2, which showed off those sick ass parkour moves that you'll be performing. We got a look at a new IP in the form of the action shooter Outriders that will also have a co-op element to it. We got a great deal more announcements from them, with the incredible looking Oninaki, though they closed off the show with a bang by finally showing off Marvel's Avengers. They discussed how the game will be built upon after it launched, as well as how new characters will be coming to it. The game will be playable through 4-player co-op, which sounds like deadly crack, and we got a release date surprisingly being May 15, 2020. Nintendo were last up, and they kicked off with Luigi's Mansion 3, which gives Luigi his time to shine as he takes on ghosts in a 3D platform. We got announcements to games that have released on other platforms too. The Spyro Reignited trilogy is making its way over to the Switch, as well as one of the defining games of this generation, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Mario and Sonic are going head to head again in the Olympic Games at Tokyo 2020, as you take part in the party game that has you doing multiple sports from the Olympics. We then got a look at games we knew were coming, from the charming Cadence of Hyrule, which has you killing monsters to the beat, while playing as Cadence, Link, or Zelda. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 showed off some more characters, from Ghost Rider to Spider-Gwen. Animal Crossing's New Horizon has been delayed to March 20, 2020. The Zelda Link's Awakening remake will have a dungeon maker mode that allows you to make, well, dungeons. We got a good few surprises as well. Travis Touchdown is returning in the Over the Top Game series with its newest installment, No More Heroes 3. Two new characters were revealed to be entering Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the hero from Dragon Quest, and the one everyone had been wanting, Banjo and Kazooie. We then got the best surprise for last. An announcement that a sequel to Breath of the Wild is in production and that it will have a darker tone implemented. Well, that's some of the many big games and news that came out of E3 this year. Though this really only scratches the surface. There was other conferences such as ones for PC games, limited run games, and Devolver Digital. Be sure to comment below and tell us what your favourite announcement from E3 was this year. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe, as well as follow us on our social media pages to keep up to date. Until next time, have a good one.